have an awesome day. And what we do here on the Sunday school, we go through some principles for success. And if you've been around for a while, you know that success is obedient to laws. You can write that down. Also, what you should prepare for when you're in a business, any business, but especially this business, always have a pen and paper if you're on these webinars, because there will be stuff that you can write down and you notice that, wow, that was a good one. I will write that down. You think you will remember, but you don't. So pen and paper is really good to have. And to become an entrepreneur, because that's what we're doing. We're building a business. And I usually say that you treat this as a business. It will pay out like a business. You treat it like a hobby. It will pay out like a hobby. So, and hobbies usually don't pay out very much. It's only cost a lot of money. So it's a business that you're building, and it's not a game. It's not a fantasy. It's real. And we want you to have the best education that you can get. That's why we have these webinars, so that you can pick up. It doesn't matter if you started a year ago or yesterday, because these webinars doesn't follow any certain rhythm. It's just you can jump in any webinar, get the information, just keep on going, keep on building your business, and use the stuff that you hear. So there's many things that you need as an entrepreneur and building a business, because most of us, we come into this business like I did 25 years ago plus, and have no experience whatsoever. I had a little bit experience about some, I've been selling by phone on a telemarketing company, and I owned a rock club for a while. But it's different from building a long-term business to really catch up and get the principles behind it, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of things that you need to learn. You need to recruit. You need to talk to people, to communicate. You need to coach people. You need to set goals. You need to be to have tenacity and to be outgoing and change your attitude. There's so much that we need to learn, and if we haven't got it, we need to get it, because who you are is what you're gonna make. Like Jim Rohn always said, he said, you can have more than you have today because you can become more than what you are. And that's why principles is so important, because first of all, what is a principle? Maybe you don't know. Well, principles never change. Principles are the same today as it were yesterday, and it will be tomorrow. So principles are the same. They never change. When you get hold of those principles, then you will thrive. Then you will have success. And it's so important because there's so many people out there making webinars and trainings, and they write books, and they're really successful in promoting themselves because that's their skill. But their content is probably not really good, because there's like thousands of, I've seen so many people out there who try to teach other people to do something they haven't done themselves. So remember, never take instruction from a person who can't take you to the next level. That means that person got to have empiric knowledge. Empiric knowledge means that they have done it. They've been through something, so they can tell you exactly, not only exactly what to do, but they can tell you how they felt when they were building, the emotions they were going through, or the hardship, the problems. And they can tell you, well, I did this, or I just sat down and waited out this, or, I solved this problem this way. And, the keys to life is order. And order is confirmed by the laws. Universe loves order. There's no chaos in universe except for people creating chaos. The planets are going in the same direction. The molecules, the atoms is swirling around the same. The electrons around the atom and so on. There's a system. There's order. There's order. The keys to life is order. And what we will talk about today is time management. But first, I will go through a couple of things so we get reminded what we talked about last time. And success is not to be pursued. Success, you will be successful when you become the new person. When you learn stuff, when you're on this webinar today, you will learn new stuff. And that new stuff will make you becoming. You've started your journey of becoming. And some of you have been with me for a while, and I get a lot of feedback from you guys out there, that you succeeded because of these webinars. And I thank you. I thank you for sending me those, because that's not common. People don't do that. I don't know why, and it makes me, keep on, because then we realize that what we're doing here is something good. It actually works. I know it works, but it's good to get feedback anyway. So thank you. So success is not to be pursued, but it rather attracted by the person you become. So when you're becoming, the success will draw to you. It's like attracts like. You will attract the persons that you are yourself. So if you're a happy, outgoing, positive person, those people will come to you. They will attract to you. And you need to be positive and have a great attitude if you're going to succeed in this business, because there will be problems. There are no free lunches. And life is growth. When we stop growing, we are not stopping, we're actually decreasing. So we're going back, because life is growth. And now you can see the red thread in what we're talking about. The Maslow pyramid we've been talking about for a couple of times. The lower levels, basic needs, and people who are just because of fear, they do not move out of the comfort zone, and they're not becoming. So they actually stop growing, but they're not stopping growing. They're actually decreasing. They're actually going backwards. And life is growth. Look around. Everything grows, to its fully potential, except humans. You don't see a tree that go like, yep, I maybe start growing. I will grow half this time. Or I will, no. Everything is growing to the maximum potential. A flower, a tree, a fruit, everything that grows, except humans. We stop. And you know why we stop? Because we're taught that way. We are taught to stop. We are taught to quit. What's new? Because we surround ourselves, or we actually we have the wrong people around us. And then we move in life and we're realizing, wow, there's more out there. There's more. Maybe I can get some of that stuff. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can be better. Maybe I can be happier, because happiness is also a byproduct of becoming. So you don't need a new year or a new decade. You need a new mindset. That's what you need. You need a new mindset. You need something new, because the old thinking got you where you are today. Does that make sense? The thinking that you have up until today got you the stuff that you have. Your bank account is a direct correlation with what you've been thinking up today. If you want to have a bigger bank account, like Les Brown says, you want an MBA, mega bank account, you need to change the way you think. You need to start changing your mindset. So people are using that as an excuse. You hear that all the time. At New Year's Eve, I make resolutions. I will make some promises to myself. How many people follow up on the New Year's promises? Very few. They get started, but they don't fulfill their promises to themselves. So you remember we talked about the 24-hour, and we all get 24 hours. We all get the same amount of time, but we don't use the time, and that's what this time management is all about. And listen to this. This is fabulous. You hear people saying all the time that you come with an opportunity like this, and you show them, and they say, "No, I don't have time." What people don't realize, they don't have time. You don't get time. You take time. It's something that you produce. You take time. You plan, and you take action. People get the same amount of time. Everyone. As a matter of fact, we get 5,940 hours. Almost, I think it's, let me see. 5,840 hours. Sorry, a year. 5,840 hours a year. Almost 6,000 hours. And we sleep around 1,912. So almost 2,000 hours of those 6,000 we sleep. How many hours do each person have left over to do something in and about their life? 3,928 hours. 3,928 hours we all get to do something, to produce. The first message that we got is be fruitful and multiply. Fruitful means productive. Go out in the world and produce something. Do something. Use your brain. Help someone. Build something. But most people get caught up in the mindset of, no, there's no use. I'm too old, I'm too little, I'm too fat, I'm too, whatever. I came from this family, I live in this country, or poor me. No, we all have that purpose built in us, you just have to find it. Okay, so that was the hours. So we all have that many hours in a year to do something, but we all get one block. 24 hours. And remember, we talked about some people, they think about things in the future, so they forget about the now, because you can only create something in the now. You can't create something in the future. I know people trying, and they try to go back in time and create, but that's only in the now. And some people go like, yeah, but that's pretty obvious. Yeah, so why don't people do it? Why do people spend most of their thinking in the future about stuff that's going to happen, or stuff that they're looking forward to, so they forget about the now? For instance, someone has a vacation. People live for vacations. Why don't they make a life so their whole life is a vacation? My last 25 years has been a long vacation. I'm telling you, since I got hold of the principles. And doesn't mean that I haven't worked hard. Doesn't mean that I haven't, gone through problems and hardship. Doesn't mean anything of that. It means just that I decide myself. I don't have a boss to tell me you're gonna do this and I'm hiring you for 8 hours to stand with that machine and pull that, plug, whatever that is. No, I'm been the boss. I make up, wherever I want to go, whatever I want to do, whatever I want to plan, I do it. So people miss out because they can't live in the now. They live in the future. And some people live in the past. They think about what happened. And because what happened, they destroy the now. But not only are they destroying the now, they take the energy out of the future because they're thinking about bad things that already happened, which has already happened. You can't change that. But most people destroy their own now with old stuff that already happened. Wow. I hope you're getting this because this is really, really good. So success is not what you have done today. Success is what you have done compared to what you could have done. Wow, what is he talking about? I don't get it. Well, I will explain. We have those 24 hours. Most people, they just, wasting time in front of the television, at bars, drinking beer, hanging out with buddies. You can do that. You can all do that fun after you build your business. When you have a bank account full of money and freedom to do whatever you want, then you can do it. But up until then, you can't waste time. You got to be fulfilling every minute, so you make the most out of everything. And of course, we're not perfect. It's not what I'm talking about. But success is really not what you have done. It's what you could have done. Okay? And if you're honest to yourself, you could have done more. And the thing that separates winners from losers is what they do most of the day. It's just a reminder that you can have $1 million business with a minimum wage work ethic. You can't have $1 million mindset with a minimum wage work ethic. So you got to change your work ethic. And most of us have learned to try to take shortcuts, to try to do least as possible. You hear that all the time. I heard that when I started work. I started working when I was 15. I never finished school. And when you were sitting around the guys at work, and you heard, some people go, yeah, I'm trying to do as least as I can, every day. And you pick up that stuff because you become the people you surround yourself. So for a long time, I thought that doing little, cheating the boss or something, but you're only cheating yourself. So what came to me when I changed my life in 1989, I realized there were laws. I had my mentor, and he said, Peter, there are no free lunches. You can't get something for nothing. There are no such thing. Forget about it. And we started to training me, he started to mentoring me and teaching me all this stuff that I teach you guys. So you actually get this stuff from him. Most of the stuff, not everything, but most of the stuff I got from him. So he said, Peter, the only one that you fool by cheating, taking short, is yourself. People think that they fool their upline, or they're gonna fool their boss, or they're gonna fool, you're only fooling yourself. Because the boomerang will always come back when you throw it. So this webinar is about planning. And I love that statement. If you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. playing with words, but still, I love it still because it's so true, but it's also a fun statement. If you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. That's why I talk a lot about planning. And the leaders who know this business, they also talk a lot about planning. Planning your business is the essence, one of the key components. And most people don't realize that planning, you got to plan. Why? Because otherwise you will not get the most out of the 24-hour block that you get. And I will show you here. So just bear me here for a second. So the secret key to success is management of time. How you manage your time. Let's say, I've seen so many examples, but let's say you come from a background, you never been in charge of yourself, you always had a boss, you've never been an entrepreneur, and all of a sudden you come into this business and now you're going to run it yourself. Can you see there's a problem there? Can you see that most people don't get it? That they're actually their own boss? You're not working for someone else, you're in someone else's organization, but you are the leader of your organization. You are the leader, because leadership is what this is all about. So you will start building your organization, but you're still part of someone else's organization, of course. And you will get, the energy and the inspiration and the motivation and the education, everything through coming from above, going down in the organization. But still, you are the boss. So can you see there's a little bit problem here that you never steer your life before. You were never the captain on the ship. And then now all of a sudden you're going to be the captain of the ship. And that's where most people fail. They are failing to plan, so they're planning to fail. So there's a great analogy, great thing, which shows management, time management. And when I saw this, I learned so much about it. And I learned so much about myself and about not wasting time. So bear with me here for a couple of minutes and we'll go through this. This is really important. So if we can divide our 24 block out of the 3,900 and what was it? 928 hours a year that we get. Okay, we get 3,928 of those blocks, 24-hour blocks. Wow. Okay. So we divide our time into 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1 square we call not important but urgent. So what is not important but urgent? Give you a couple of examples. What's not important is, for instance, the phone is continuously ringing and you don't pick it up. That's pretty urgent, because otherwise people going crazy, so you will answer the phone. No, I was just kidding. But not important could be that let's say you have a couple of calls that needs to be done. They're urgent, but they're not important, but you need to make them. And there could be something with your private life, something with your mortgages or housing or banking. It's not really important, but it's urgent. You need to take care of it. And you have in block number 2, or number 2 here is important and urgent. So what's important and urgent? Well, for instance, calling your people, staying in communication with your leaders. It's both important and it's both urgent. You can't put it off, because in this business, you put it off, it will never happen. So it's important and it's also urgent. So you make those calls. you let's say what's more important, urgent, could be the webinar. That's webinars is only right now. Some of the leaders say, I have this webinar at 7. It's important to be on the webinar. It's also urgent, because if you don't there, you will miss out. You can't come in and miss half of it, or some webinars you can't even get in because there's too many people. So it's important and urgent that you do what? That you plan, that you write it down so you know when it's going to happen. So you have it in your calendar, so you know what to do. Then we have important, but not urgent. What could that be? Well, writing your name list. It's not urgent to write names because you can keep on writing names, until you die, but it's important that you do it. Your goals, writing your goals. It's important, but it's not urgent. I mean, you still keep on changing your goals and they become bigger. And so you have a lot of stuff that's really important. It's not really urgent, but it's important for your business. And you have planning, of course, it's important. Plan, it's not urgent. It's not gonna change very much if you do it, but it's important, so you do it. So I hope you get the difference here. Then we have not important and not urgent. What could that be? Well, I said it before. Television. It's not important. It's not urgent. Hang out with beer drinking buddies. It's not important and it's not urgent. And going to the movies. It's not important. It's not urgent. Or, just wasting time. So if you take all these 4 blocks, which 2 should you be in all the time? And which 2 doesn't really matter at all? Did I hear 2 and 3? So right. You got to be in number 2 and you're going to be in number 3. And 1 and 4 doesn't really matter. Not if you're building a serious business. If you're not taking this serious, and if you just, do it for fun, whatever, I don't care. But if you're going to be a leader, and remember, we have something called duplication. So people will look at you. So if you were in number 1 and 4, they will be in number 1 and 4. You're not that stupid that you think that you're going to trick people to work for you. Some people actually think that. And I'm telling you, forget it. You're not only fooling yourself, you're fooling yourself and others. Because this is about leadership. This is about being honest. This is about being a real leader. And, working smart is understanding the laws. And, if you break the laws, they will break you. But if you follow the laws, they will support you. So I hope this was of importance to you. Like, important, not urgent. This webinar, it's important. It's not urgent, but it's really important. Number 3. And instead, someone is now in block number 4 because they didn't plan to be here, or they didn't care enough of their business, or they thought they could cheat someone or something. So they are wandering around in 1 and 4, mostly in 4. So when you plan, make sure you're in 2 and 3, because those are the money producing activities. Those are the MPAs. Those are the money producing activities. Those are the blocks where stuff happens. And remember, when you're in this business that you're now, and you're following principles, everything you learn here, everything that you learn, that you listen to this webinar and you do it. When you do it, then it will be yours. If you do it, and if you do it for real, you will have a result, and that no one can take that away from you. Because when there's a saying, if you make $1 million and you lose it, but you did it the right way with the right principles, you can make another $1 million. But if you were cheating and you got it by luck or chance, or you inherit some money, or you were lying or stealing or something like that, you lose it, it's gone. But the principles behind success, the laws, that's where you want to be, because no one can take that away from you. When you made it, when you took those principles and you did something out of it, wow, that's where it happens. Okay, guys, I hope you got something out of this, because I did. And I think you can use the recording if you miss something during the webinar, you don't really get it, you can go back and listen to it again. And guys, if you do this, what we've been talking about today on this particular webinar, empiric knowledge, why I'm sitting here, because I did it, I've done it. But if you do it, the best of your life will be the rest of your life. Because remember, you're not who you think you are who you think you are. That's a big difference. Thank you, guys, and have a wonderful, awesome, prosperous, blessed day, and make sure you go out and change the world.